When I think of combs, I have already pain, thinking about pain. Because my mom, when I was a kid, because our hair is super, super curly, and then our parents just comb through it, and it really, really hurts. It's pain, but it's worth it.
I am Samuel Bankote. I'm an artist and researcher from Ghana. I was trained in the classical sense as a painter and a sculptor. But over time, my work has been engaging many forms. Currently, I'm researching into combs and specifically Afro combs from the African continent. The first question that strikes me with this project is, how these institutions get to these intimate objects from the people. What was negotiations like? How did people tend to give out their personal items? Not watching the healing process go beyond just the title. I'm looking at the process of healing. I'm looking at the process of care, the process of restitution, reparation, and the conversations that it tends to generate with both parties on the continents where these objects were looted and the continents where these objects find themselves. I tend to not rush the conversations that these projects or these conversations, exhibitions tend to generate. Yeah, today with me, I have the Afro-German or Afro-diasporan community. To also share their voice, we are working with some combs to share a particular message.
When I think about combs and hair care, I would say the first thing that I remember is having to detangle my hair as a kid when it was a lot longer, and it would take a lot longer to do, and it felt like some kind of labor that I had to work through every single time. That's mostly what comes to mind when I think of combs.
Als ich kleiner war, weil die Leute immer mich ausgelacht haben, so haha, du Ananaskopf, du Wischmopp. Und dann musste man halt erstmal lernen, das irgendwie zu lieben selber. Und das war irgendwie schön, dass ich das dann eine Weile öfter gemacht habe, Afro offen, einfach in die Bahn zu setzen und unterwegs zu sein. Und das war irgendwie, ja, ich weiß nicht, voll empowernd, dann mit der Zeit irgendwie damit klarzukommen. Auch so das Spiegelbild so zu mögen und zu akzeptieren und dann irgendwann auch stolz zu sein, irgendwie eine schwarze Frau zu sein. Ich bin happy, dass ich da hingekommen bin. So.
I've also been interested in how we would have conversations about these objects beyond the object itself. How do we engage communities? How do we engage institutions that tend to be custodian of these objects beyond that?
I feel like this is also something that connects the people on the African continent with the diaspora here. So it's not only hope, maybe it's also like building a connection between those two continents.
Yeah.
And the people.
Yeah. It's more a multisensorial project that has a sound aspect to it, video aspect to it, a photographic series, paintings, sculptures, and a part of it is the Library of Braids and Knots, where we are sculpturally, archiving a lot of post-colonial, pre-colonial, modern hairstyles in the form of wood carvings as well. A part of it also is this particular one that also engages with the Afro-German community. This photographic series is heavily inspired by the 80s and 90s, early 2000s way of sending messages back home. During these times, people would, take photographs, write poems, or write, letters that tend to capture their stays and send it back home. So I'm looking at this project as, sending hope back home. Because to think about the conversation of restitution and reparation, for me, I feel like it's happening on just one side. We don't really have a structured approach to it. It goes back to not rushing the healing process literally. So it has been very fluid, it has been very easy. It could emerge at any point in time. In the process of, putting these archives in motion, it's very important these museum spaces also give the chance for people who are interested to work with these objects to do justice to what they think